Names are not obstacles, they're bridges. Tchaikovsky, Saoirse Ronan, Chiwetel Ejiofor refines Amanda Seyfried. The majority of you will recognize these names. Perhaps you've heard them so many times that you can say them in your sleep without any difficulty. So I'll continue my list with some names you might not know. Chukwuemeka Temitope Oluwafunmilayo Boluwatife. Is there a difference between the two sets of names I've just said? My name is Toluwani Oluwanifemi Akinlotan, a name that carries with it a rich history of the world I was born into and a prophecy of who I am destined to be, a name that has been and continues to be a testament to my ethnic heritage as Nigerian and my pride in it. Toluwani Oluwanifemi. I belong to God who loves me. A name that was sung throughout the entirety of my infancy to my tween years and even some parts of my teen years. My name came as a result of prayer after prayer of my parents, who were told that their family would simply remain childless. A statement that they profusely rejected. Thus, my name is contextual of the trials and tribulations faced by my parents, particularly my mom, when I was carried. But to some people, I'm perceived to be Tolu Nifemi Akinlotan, a name which, apart from the fact doesn't really suit me, in my opinion, actively shames the combined creative directory of my parents and acts as a veil over that same future that my full name proclaims. Tolu Nifemi wants me. Linguistically, it means nothing because this combination of letters is quite simply a bunch of prefixes and suffixes put together with no stem. And as a native speaker of Yoruba, the language from which my name is derived, it's frustrating to see my name slandered or stained for the sole purpose of appeasing the English phonetic system. Tolu, Tolu, Tolu. It might sound nice to you, but what about me, the owner and user of this name? And let me get something straight furthermore. This is not just a problem faced by me or even Nigerians. This is not just a problem faced by Africans. It is a universal problem faced by a community of non-Anglophones that constantly seems to be pitted against a world that is rapidly modernizing and industrializing for the sole purpose being their flair and heritage grounded in being multilingual. Uzomaka West in an article once quoted the words of his mother. These words, in all honesty, mimic the exact same words of my parents and their parents too. I would like to call this quote an echo of our ancestry. If they can learn to say Tchaikovsky and Michelangelo and Dostoevsky, then they can learn to say Uzomaka. But like Uzomaka, can I truly admit to myself and to you all today that it is easy to call people out for saying my name wrong? Toluwani, why did you not just tell me you felt uncomfortable? It's easy to say no. Is it though? Think about it this way. In the UK, about 82% of people with non-Anglo-derived names frequently have their names mispronounced. Out of this same statistic, about 52% of them have had their names avoided or changed with or without their consent. The psychological concept by the name of linguistic bias shows how these actions are not just accidents, but rather reflections of deeper preferences for certain cultures over others, and an inability to employ a growth mindset when meeting and interacting with new people. A concept that should subside with the numerous accents in the UK is becoming more and more apparent with the range of crises in our time. Just get an English name. It will be easier for us to communicate with you. The number of biases in this statement are so many that it's actually scary, the self-interest fallacy being most evident. We have to change our names to make it easier for them because as multilinguists, we have a responsibility to compromise ourselves for the sake of easing their tongues, even if ours remains shackled. A fallacy that is false, or the ethnocentric fallacy, one that assumes that my full name is barbaric and alien in comparison to the normal, superior names of my friends and colleagues. A fallacy that is also false. Or my favorite, the false dilemma, a concept that began with Aristotle in sophistical refutations that dictates I, Toluwani, can either choose to shorten my name or better still claim an English name or consequently make communication difficult for everyone around me. To be frank, this makes me laugh because in reality, there is a fourth option. Just learn how to pronounce my name. At most, it will take you an extra 30 seconds than learning how to say Jonathan. So quite clearly, this fallacy is also false. Yasmin Al-Bahar Brown said, names are not obstacles, they are bridges, and every time we take the effort to cross them, we honor the person on the other side. The metaphor in this quote accentuates the mutuality behind exchanging names. I have learned how to say your name, no matter how hard the two-syllabic word may sound to me, so it's only fair that you extend the same courtesy to me, even if my name has two more, because at the crux of it all, it's just respect and a basic understanding of phonetics, that's all. But perhaps the question is not about pronunciation, but rather a refusal to acknowledge one's presence. Moving to the UK early in my teen years was a daunting experience for me. And a common fear shared with other immigrants is the constant need of the feeling to fit in, whether that be by shortening my name or changing my accent to fit in with the new society that I found myself in. Often it felt like before I could even reach the same level as other nationals, I had to heavily contemplate the way I felt and presented myself before even stepping into the ring. But a 12-year-old should not have to go through that. In fact, nobody should have to go through that. If I say, hello, my name is Toluwani, what's yours? Or, hello, my name's Toluwani, what's yours? The reaction that I receive should be the exact same, not different based on the way I sound or my mannerisms, because that effort that I took to step into a new relationship should be seen as a simple gesture of trust, because at that moment, I'm not asking you to approve of who I am. I'm asking you to acknowledge the fact that I'm here. Even the consideration that this is just a social problem frustrates me because it is not. This is not just a social problem. It leads to academic difficulties in a large number of these children. OECD data states that immigrants or foreign-born 15-year-olds are less satisfied with life in comparison to their UK-born peers, even in countries where the attainment gaps are smaller, and it seems like immigrant children seem to be doing just as fine as their British-born peers. It might seem like your actions have no consequences either in the short term or long term, but trust me, it does, because these interactions don't just go away simply because we want them to. So when someone tries to claim that my name is too long or too difficult to understand, there is no reason for me not to interpret that as I inherently am too difficult to understand. So my name must therefore be broken down into smaller, palatable pieces that can be ingested without even making an effort. So when I introduce myself, I will be patient and unapologetic. Whether someone stumbles the first time or second or fourth or sixth, that's fine. My name is Toluwani Oluwanifemi, and I will forever be grateful for the attempt, the interest, and the willingness to cross the bridge and meet me at the other side, because learning a name, any name, is a small but deeply impactful act of respect. Not just my name or the names of other Nigerians or even foreigners. And you would thereby be promoting in your own way the fact that identities are not inconveniences that can be managed or tolerated or even compromised. They are our stories, our histories, our present, our past, and our future. You're telling us that you hear us, you see us, and you value us. I'll end then by saying that there is no accent, no syllable, no tongue that is incapable of learning how to say someone's name. Because if you can learn how to say Tchaikovsky, Saoirse Ronan, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Ray Fiennes, and Amanda Seyfried, then Toluwani Oluwanifemi Akinlotan is not that hard either. Thank you, or I could say, Eshegon.